Welcome to the Healthy NL and myCCath series of training videos. In this video, you will see how to create e-referrals for interventional cardiology in myCCath. Specifically, you will see how to create inpatient and outpatient e-referrals for interventional cardiology. We'll demonstrate how the e-referral dynamically changes based on the data that's been entered. You'll see how data validation rules control the submission of the e-referral so that all required fields must be completed prior to the submission of the referral. We'll demonstrate how to navigate through the e-referral using the anchor menu. We'll show how patient data can be maintained on the e-referral, how to print the e-referral, and also the workflows that are associated with the e-referral once the referral has been submitted. We'll begin by selecting the patient from Healthy NL and navigating to myCCath. As we previously discussed, you'll see the patient demographics information appear in Healthy NL, and then clicking the myCCath logo to launch the myCCath application. Selecting the myCCath link will display the patient detail in myCCath, as previously seen in Healthy NL. Scrolling to the bottom of the page, in myCCath, you will see a patient referrals section, highlighting any of the existing referrals, and clicking on that referral will allow you to edit or view that referral. But we're going to create a new referral, and you use the Add New Referral button to launch that. So you'll now have a blank e-referral for interventional cardiology. We'll go through the process for completing the form and clarify the various sections contained within the form. The very top patient header section will be completed as the form itself is updated, so we'll come back to that shortly. But down below, we see a patient demographics summary section similar to the patient demographics page, with the MCP number, the alternate names, gender, date of birth, address, phone number information. All of that came from the patient demographics page. Scrolling down, we'll see patient allergies. This again is from the patient demographics section and carries through to the referral. This can be updated here, and will update the patient demographic details as well. So would carry forward to subsequent referrals. We'll continue on. The next section is height and weight. These are drop-downs which present both imperial and metric values, and are not required fields. So the distinction here, you'll see there are no asterisks. Down here below, you'll see in patient type an asterisk. That identifies a required field. The myCCath e-referral form is a dynamic form, and it changes based on the selections, the inputs the user provides. So for example, we're looking at creating an inpatient referral. By selecting inpatient, you'll see the patient location details have updated accordingly. Clicking outpatient reduces the set of data that's required to be captured. Inpatient requires the site name and patient location, whereas outpatient only requires the region and the family physician. As I mentioned, the asterisks indicate required fields, so we'll complete those fields now. Selecting the site that's associated with that region, identifying the location, we'll say 3rd floor. The next section is also dynamic, and it adjusts based on the patient type. So reasons for referral for inpatients are unstable angina, NSTEMI, or STEMI. I'm going to switch quickly to outpatient, and again we'll see how the form adjusts accordingly. So for an outpatient, at this point we are only capturing stable angina. So we'll continue on with our inpatient referral and select unstable angina. At this point, I'm going to jump a little bit down the form to talk about the risk reasons, the risk scoring associated with the reason for referral. So by selecting unstable angina, or NSTEMI, the scoring matrix, or the scoring approach for unstable and NSTEMI, follows these criteria. If we were to change it to STEMI, the scoring criteria would change accordingly. Similarly, if we were to change the patient to an outpatient, the risk scoring would adjust accordingly as well to our scoring. So we're going to proceed with our inpatient with unstable angina and the corresponding NSTEMI unstable angina scoring. Under reason for referral, there's an option for other, where other types of reasons for referral can be selected. This referral is only available for interventional cardiology, so that's a default. That value is always available. Procedures requested are as follows. Checkboxes select which procedures requested are which procedures are requested. Biopsy has an option associated with it where it can be expanded to include other types or previous cardiac transplant. Medications are all required fields, as can be seen by the asterisks. Selecting the radio buttons will display additional data values to be entered. If any of these required fields with asterisks, are left blank, the myCCath data validation will identify this when then the referral form is going to be submitted. So we're going to leave a few of them blank and watch how the validation takes place. The next section identifies comorbidities, and similarly, all of these values are required fields, as can be seen by the asterisk. And similarly, as with medications, we see sub-entries which are required to support the selections, the comorbidity selections. In some cases, there are additional data values required. In other cases, there are not. But each time, you'll notice an asterisk when it's a required field. In this case, for GFR, we're looking for one or the other, or both. And in this case, GFR has a drop-down value. And I will also leave a few fields blank to show the data validation that occurs. Previous cath lab procedures identifies any cath lab procedures which were created as referrals in myCCath and completed in myCCath, whereas previous cardiac procedures relates to cardiac procedures which occurred prior to myCCath or potentially outside of the province that were captured through the interview process with the patients. And you can see here the Add Previous Cardiac Procedure button is available to allow the user to create additional cardiac procedure documentation, which is stored on the patient record. So for subsequent referrals, the previous cardiac procedures will appear there as well. We previously identified the risk scoring, so selecting the risk scoring values by clicking yes or no will identify the corresponding points for that value and assign a corresponding risk level and a recommended maximum wait time based on the TIMI risk scoring algorithms. This next section provides an opportunity for the referring physician to record comments about the patient, current physical information, additional details that would support the cath lab making a decision about the referral. Supporting documents section requires the referral to be saved prior to attaching a document. So we're going to save this referral as a work in process state and then come back and fill in the details around supporting documentation. The referring physician is automatically identified based on the user login details. So in this case, we've got test referring physician. And now we're at the end of the referral where we can click the save button or try to submit the referral. So initially, we're going to click the save button, and it's going to identify some errors. So this is highlighting the data validation that occurs within myCCath. So we see some errors related to medications and missing data. We also see some errors related to comorbidity. So I'm going to quickly go back and change those, update those sections. We can navigate to the medication section by clicking on the anchor menu and seeing how the errors that we've identified here. So thrombolytics, we need to add a date, a time. Medication, we're going to select the medication. An indication, we're also going to provide a reason. Here in the comorbidity section, we also have some missing information. Take that out. Here again, you see the EF value is not a required field. There's no asterisk. The NYHA is a required field. So we're going to try saving that again. And we'll see that we were successfully able to save this record. Now, just look up here in this floating header. This header appears as the details of the referral are completed and the user is scrolling down the referral. So we see the name of the patient, we see their MCP number, we see the procedures that are associated with that patient on this referral. Type of patient, it's an inpatient. We've just created a referral ID, which is identified by the health region, the year, and a sequential number. We see the status of this referral, so it's in progress. It hasn't been submitted yet, and the referring physician is the individual that's working on this referral at the moment. So if we felt we were in a position to submit this referral, to send it off to the cath lab for their review, we will click the referral submitted button. That also fires off some validation, and we see we've got a few more fields that we need to complete. So we're going to go up and look at those. So those are antiplatelets, that's medications, and some supporting documentation is missing. So we'll go up to medications. We forgot this radio button, and supporting documentation, which is here. So we have two approaches. One is to attach supporting documentation. In this case, we're talking about a referral letter. In another case, we can fax the referral letter, and we'll click the "will be forwarded separately" button. So I'm just going to demonstrate attaching a document. So we'll select a file, we'll choose a referral letter as an example, click open, Joy Grimes referral letter, upload the file, and that will attach the file. If we were going to fax a referral letter separately, we click on the "will be forwarded separately" button, and the cath lab fax number appears as well. When all of the required data has been entered on the referral, clicking the referral submit button will present a referral status change window. Here we could enter some comments related to the referral if additional comments were required. Clicking the confirm status change button submits the referral, and we now have what's called workflow history showing the status of the referral. So while the referral is in progress, it is not available for the cath lab to review and accept. So the referral must be in a submitted status in order to have the cath lab process the referral and review it, and then have the cardiologist accept the referral. Let's quickly go back up to the top of the page. You can see now patient header information is populated. The name was there previously. We have that procedure referral ID, which is generated. The status of the referral is shown, it's submitted, and we have a status date when that referral was submitted. The status date is the date that the status changes. Now that the referral has been submitted, you're able to print the referral. Clicking on the print button at the bottom of the page triggers a PDF view of the cath lab, interventional cardiology cath lab referral, overlaid with all of the data recorded on the referral. So the demographic data, the location data, here's the procedure referral ID, allergies, the procedure details, the requested procedures, previous procedures, medications, comorbidity, and the scoring. The scoring will only appear in the sections that relate to the scoring for that particular referral. So unstable angina and STEMI, this is STEMI, and this is our scoring. We'll also identify if the referring physician, and once the cardiologist has approved it, it will identify the approving cardiologist. This document can then be printed using your Adobe Acrobat printer, selecting the appropriate printer and clicking the print button. To complete this training video, let's take a look at a completed referral, specifically focusing on the entire workflow life cycle. So I'm going to select a referral that's been completed, and procedure completed identifies that the referral has gone through approval, acceptance by the cardiologist, scheduling, as well as completion in the cath lab. So the patient has had their procedure performed by the cardiologist in the cath lab. So this is an example of a referral that's been completed, and you can see the life cycle. In this case, the referral began by being submitted, at which point the coordinator reviewed the referral, so confirming that there were no pieces of information that were missing. Once the referral has been reviewed, the cardiologist sees it in their queue, and they accept it or reject it. In this case, this referral was accepted. We then go through an administrative step of entering the data in Approach by an Approach clerk, once that's completed, the patient is scheduled for the cath lab, and then once that date occurs, the referral is marked as completed. And as well, as part of being completed, the cath lab, if it's appropriate, will associate a carrot image. So this image represents the work and what was identified by the cardiologist as part of their work in the cath lab.